Howdy, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all doing okay today. So, I want to talk about something completely apolitical today. It might have its place in culture, but it's not political. So, 2.5 years ago, got to go on a vacation with my family. It was the first long vacation that I'd gotten to take with my wife since her and I got married due to, well, actually it was the second one. Let me rephrase that. Second vacation I got to take with my wife and family since we got married. And the thing that was so cool about it is it was the first time that we had taken our kids to the beach. Had an absolute ball while we were there. We went to just outside of Savannah, Georgia. It's going to sound weird. We kind of stayed in a semi-commercial industrial area. It's right off the main interstate there. But the reason why we stayed there versus staying in downtown Savannah where it's touristy or where our actual destination was, which was Tybee Island, is because and I apologize about the noise, folks, but construction's going on. They got lanes shifted into the emergency lane, so I can't get off these rumble strips right now. The rooms were so much cheaper. When we went down there, we took one vehicle. We took my mother's van down there that specific time. And the whole time we were there, we burned a tank of gas running back and forth between the hotel and the beach. And the rooms were half off compared to staying anywhere closer to the beach or anywhere touristy. So, worthwhile trade in my opinion. It's a great way to make a cheap beach vacation. We had to get 2 hotel rooms. So anyway, one of the things that we looked at while we were there was an old revolutionary pre-Civil War fort. It was built for or after the Revolutionary War. I'm not entirely sure on the history on that, but construction started in 1829. I just Googled it, and ended in 1847. So it saw action during the Civil War as a Confederate fort. Now, the thing that was so stinking cool about this place is it did not look anything like modern buildings. You walk inside this fort through the barracks, the armory, and the cannon batteries, and it's a solid brick fort. In every corridor, and it looks like cathedral walls as far as the arches in them. Just so neat to walk in and walk through. The thing that was really interesting is it was built, I want to say on Tybee Island or just outside of Tybee Island on the peninsula, which is all sand, and it had none of the damage done to this place was caused by any shifting in the foundations or any aging of the structure. So none of the damage was structural. Most of the damage was caused to the very outer layers of bricks due to light weathering, and there was some damage that had been patched up from combat during the Civil War. So I got really, really interested in the construction of this place. How was it made? Well, the way they did it is they drove pilings deep down through the sand till they hit bedrock. And all those pilings, there are hundreds of these pilings under this fort, supported the weight of the fort and kept it from settling or twisting in the sand as it settled and fracturing the brick. And this construction project took 18 years. Now, the thing that's really interesting that you think about is a lot of these people that worked on this project weren't young, probably, this is just my opinion, weren't young men. You know, they had to apprentice with a bricklayer or mason to become, master masons, not Masonic Lodge, but just, tradesmen, as it were. And they apprenticed to get good at their job. And so it took time. So a lot of the people that were building this thing were probably older men. And the thing that struck me as so interesting is some of these guys were probably building something that they never got to see the end result, finished product, or see it through to completion. They could have died during that time. Life expectancy was very low then. There wasn't any of the modern medicine convenience or creature comforts that we have. One of the things that was really interesting is these pilings were driven into the sand using man and mule power. To do it, they'd pick heavy weights up on top of these pilings and just drop them and hammer them down using man and mule power. They didn't get steam engines to lift or carry or move or power anything till the last few years of construction. Just fascinating to sit back and think about. And that kind of brought me to the point of why I'm recording this video today. Some of the things that current events, some of the things that are going on currently, or some of the proposals currently, or some of the attitudes from thought leaders currently, are so much a now mentality. They want what they want and they want it now. And I get that. I've had to postpone a lot of things, and it's never been in 2 years I'll get this. And no, I want what I want when I want it. Because I grew up in the age of microwaves and the dawn of the internet becoming a common thing in households. I remember when we got internet, and I remember when I got my first streaming service, Netflix and all that on the phone, and it was just, it's amazing. And Amazon same day shipping, everything's now. So few people seem to think about the actual investing in the future or laying the bricks to invest in the future. And now I'm going to delve into the political a touch, just because the political and the technical. So there's so many, there's several states right now that are attempting to ban fossil fuel or petroleum fuel cars in the sale of them in their states by certain years. Now, I've heard all the arguments for climate change and banning cars. They're not a huge percentage of the pollution of the United States. The United States is a low percentile producer of greenhouse gases and toxic gases out of tailpipes globally. Cars make up under 10% of the United States. Carbon footprint in the United States is less than 10% of global CO2 production. Cars, your modern cars, my little gasoline Focus, are amazingly clean. Tailpipe emissions, especially once they're warm. You get a couple minutes of bad pollution until the pollution control systems can warm properly. And then in a lot of cities, the air coming out of my engine after turning it into horsepower is cleaner than the air going in. I know that sounds crazy, but that's factual. But there's a lot of push for outlawing internal combustion engines and this and that, on and on and on. One of the things that you don't see is you don't see a long-term realistic goal from a lot of environmentalists about how to transition or incorporate electrification into the current system of everything. Because that's what you'd have to do. You'd have to make rapid charging a thing. I realized that one of the YouTubers that I watch owns a Tesla. Loves his Tesla. Model 3, extended range, all-wheel drive. He likes his car. Period. He even road tripped his car twice, 2,000 miles round trip, and said it was really no big deal because I don't enjoy the gas and go of road trips. So, when I stop for fuel, I do enjoy getting out and stretching my legs for a while. In a Tesla, when you stop to charge, you end up having that kind of built in. So he really enjoyed it. He even did it when it was cold, said it didn't affect his range all that much. It works. Okay? It works as a road trippable car. I get that. But he said that he still would not advocate owning a electric-only vehicle as your only mode of transportation. And here was his argument for it. You have a power outage at your house. And even if you have a generator or solar, or unless you've got a huge solar system, but even if you have an emergency backup generator, something you can keep the refrigerators running with, that's not going to be enough to charge your car. If you don't have that, you're really screwed. Especially if you're down towards the end of your battery range. He said that, also suppose you get a wild hair and decide to just go for a cruise. Well, you're tied to charging infrastructure, which right now sucks. Sure, you can there's several routes cross country, but as an example, there have been times when my wife and I decide we're just going to go out cruising around the countryside, go get a little bit of ice cream for dessert, talk, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the weather, just get out of the house for a little bit. Any car we get in can be dead empty, and as long as I've got enough to make it 5 miles to the gas station from where I live, I'm good. If we had an all-electric fleet, if I showed up and decided to do that when, her and I had just gone to work, that doesn't happen. But there's a lot of people that don't know enough about what's going on, or about the way things work and the way things are, trying to make huge decisions and huge changes in an uneducated fashion. And they aren't willing to lay the groundwork for these changes to take place over the course of time. I'm willing to do that. I've been poking around on what I might end up buying next. My oldest daughter will probably get the vehicle I'm currently in when she starts driving, provided this is still on the road. It's new, but we'll have all the miles on it when she gets it. Thing's 3 years old right now, but got 100,000 miles plus. So I'll probably have 160, 180 on it when she starts driving. But it'll be a 5-year-old car. So I've already started looking what I might want to get, and I'm not opposed to the idea of an electric vehicle for a commuter car. It'd be about 50% of the low range. My daily commute would be about 50% of the standard range Mustang Mach-E's range. I could live with that. Give me quite a bit of battery in reserve. If I had to sit in traffic, take a detour to a longer route, whatever. My biggest concern is charging. But also, again, there's chargers at work. I could plug it in at the house. Just have to get upgraded charging to take care of that. I'm also willing to do that in other areas. I'm doing my very best as a person to invest into people, especially my kids and my family, in rewards that I may never see come to fruition. You know, my dad, he poured a lot into both of his kids, my sister and I, and unfortunately he died before he got to see some of the fruits of his labor come to fruition. You know, I'm not going to try the humble brag here, but there are things that have happened since he died 5 years ago that if he could have commented on them, as far as the things that I did, my reaction to things, whatever, I would hope that I would have made him proud. I think I did, but it would have been nice to have heard. And those are, you know, the things that I've done in response to things that have happened, just me growing up as an individual. He didn't get to see the fruits of all of his efforts, as it were. So, just be okay with never seeing the payoff in what you do. I guess that's what I got, folks. Thanks for tuning in on this one. Catch you later.